Hello, welcome to my channel. I am AI Medina. What does AI stand for? Artificial Intelligence. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you decided to stop by and check out this video. I decided to begin this channel a long time ago, but never actually took the action to initiate what I really wanted to do. And as a fellow writer, I wanted to create this channel for the purpose of promoting books and also passing on the advice that I wish I would have had many years ago. And I'm sure some of you beginning and intermediate writers would also have loved to heard here and there, and just stuff to motivate y'all to do more with your writing and not to give up in your writing. Let me tell you a little bit about me. The first book I ever wrote was actually back in 1997. I remember it was the summer of 1997. And I actually wrote it on a 70-page notebook. I had no idea that at that time, from beginning to end, that I had actually created a story that I could actually be made into a book. So being young and careless, I didn't realize the potential that I actually had to do this thing. So let me tell you what actually got me to write this story. At that age, I believe I was 14, there was this girl that came to the apartment complex where I used to live. And she was only there for summertime, but I instantly had a crush on her. She was very cute at that time, and we hanged out for a while, talked a lot. I enjoyed spending my time with her, and thanks to her, I actually had a very good summer that year. However, she was only there summertime, like I said, and after that she went home. So I never got to see her again. What made me write this book was actually a regret. That I wish I would have talked to her more. I wish I would have done things better. I wish I had the courage to say, I like you. I want to go out with you. Will you be my girlfriend? Can you believe it? Yes, that little simple thing, couldn't do it. Why? Because I was so scared. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of so many things just coming to my mind. And of course, being a young teenager at that age, everything doesn't make sense. But because of that, I spent that week reminiscing about the fact that, hey, she's gone. What can I do? There's nothing I can do. So I decided to write down on a notebook, what would I have done differently? What would my actions be? She was still there. And before I knew it, I began filling up pages front and back. And I said, you know what? Why don't I make this into a story? That way I can at least express myself better. And little by little, I had one character, two characters, three, then four, and then I decided to create my own little storyline along the line there. And before I knew it, it was done. I think it took about a week to actually fill it up. So once I would come home from school, I decided to start writing more, and before I knew it, wow, it was done. The story was originally, like I said, about 70 pages long, and it consisted of just small chapters. It was nothing like what I have written now, present day today. And so this book that I have written called Wild Night Adventures is basically an adaptation of that first story I wrote. It actually took me many years after 1997 to finally make something happen. I'm 36 now, and finally I can say, yes, I made it happen. I made my book possible. It is published, it is edited, it is ready to go. You can check it out on Amazon, bam, in the flesh, right here. You can make it happen too. And that's what I wanted to create this channel for. I want to give y'all advice and walk with y'all along the way and help you through not to give up. I don't want you to end up like me, that if you have a very good idea for a book, and then say, yeah, I know this book can sell. I know I can get fans. I know I can, somebody needs to read this, right? You don't have to wait 20, 25, 30 plus years for that to come out and say, you know what? I'm finally going to do it. Thanks to that girl. Her name is Jeanette, by the way. Wherever you are, Jeanette, thank you. Thank you so much. You helped me to realize I have a passion. And yeah, I really enjoyed spending my summer with you that time. But now I am happily married to my wonderful wife, and I have a beautiful baby girl who's about to turn 9. Yeah, she's still my baby girl no matter what. Even if she's older, she'll still be my baby girl. After a while of after 1997, my family got a computer, And I obviously was so excited. Oh my God, look, we can write, we can do all these fun stuff in it, internet and all these other things. But I decided to pass my story from the 70-page notebook into my laptop into a Word file. So as I realized that I'm getting more ideas to this story, it started to expand more. It became 70 pages, which then later became 100, 120, and so forth until I ended up with 200 and something, no, 300 and something pages. But over the years, I just kept adding more stuff, adding characters, situations, and I kept saying, okay, this is the final time. This is the final time. No. Go back to the beginning. No, write this, write that. So my mind was completely just everywhere for this story. I had characters that I they were just there, and I needed to give them something important to do, not just backup character or just side character. I wanted all my characters to have meaning to, that way you can identify with them, or you can say, oh wow, that character possesses something really cool. For instance, in the beginning of Wild Night Adventures, it was actually called something else. Don't remember what the title of it was. Well, there was never supposed to be a love triangle in that story to begin with. It was only main character and the girl, and that's it. It was them, some friends, only 4 characters at the time. Within years, I added another character, gave a love interest, gave a second love interest to the main character, added a lot more other characters, so that way it can create a different world, not just it's just these 2 friends and then other 2 friends. That's it. No, I wanted it to have more meaning than that. And I decided, okay, let me add some fairies. Yes, magical fairies. Why not? Many stories need magical fairies nowadays, or anything magical for that matter. Whether it's a character that can conjure up spells or something, or just something that says, wow, unique. And that's what I aim for. As the years passed, I never actually went above and beyond to say, you know what, I'm going to actually submit this to a publisher, or I'm going to actually let somebody read it. And the only people I did let read were a couple of friends of mine, and they gave me some positive feedback on it. Others were just like, it sounds a little bit weird. My best friend at the time, Joseph, wherever you are, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for always being there and helping me to hear my story. And I know I probably bore you to death sometimes, but you're always there. So thank you, Joseph. And I wonder if you ever see this. Yeah, I made it, Joseph. Wild Night Adventures. It's right there, man. We used to talk about this till like 2 in the morning, and then finally now it's here. And you better buy my book, man. I'll give you an autographed copy. And oh yeah, your name's in the back in there. So yes, I give you credit for that. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. So once I decided to go back and finally write everything once and for all, it was the time when I was kind of in I would say, a very bad time in my life. I was almost divorced from my wife. Reasons will remain personal, but I will admit I was the one who caused all the pain and damage. But during that downtime, that's when I decided, hey, I have all this free time. Instead of wasting it watching videos, playing games, you know what? I should just sit down and write and just start from the beginning, start fresh, clear my mind, clear everything. You have the characters up here, you have the situation, you have the world. Bring it to life. Bring it to life. After about a year that I spent on this, I was able to self-publish my book, but I did the edits myself, but I still realized that it didn't sound too good. I hired an editor to edit my book, and so I was surprised that my editor actually had a sci-fi fantasy book as well that he had written some years back, and then it correlated perfectly to my book as well, because obviously, you know, if you like sci-fi, you're gonna click. And if you like fantasy, you're gonna click. So if it's both like that, then it's really cool. He did it in 4 days. I was surprised that it actually took 4 days to do it, and he got it back to me and said, okay, here are your edits and knock it out. So all that's good and ready. And that all happened this year. So finally, after making everything happen and going through all that hard time and seeing that, hey, I didn't give up on this. I didn't give up on life. I didn't give up on my marriage. I didn't give up on anything. And that's what I want to tell you. Yes, life is hard. Deal with it. Find a solution to your problem. Go outside, go work out, go run, go skateboarding, go ice skating, do something so that way you can de-stress from life. And if you want to write your book, you can do it. You can do it. I'm living proof, and there's plenty other more authors out there on YouTube and elsewhere that have gone above and beyond. And if we can do this, you can do it too. I believe that whoever wants to write can make it happen. And that is my experience as going through that self-publishing process. A piece of advice I can offer you, like I stated before, is don't wait years or months to go by if you are writing a manuscript or if you're writing poetry or anything for that matter. Don't wait until tomorrow to write it. Write it now. Write it today. Write it that moment you get that idea in your mind. Write it as soon as that light bulb hits. Grab a paper, grab some pen, grab a notebook, grab your phone, and start writing. Write it there, write it the best way you can. Write on sticky notes, write on plain paper, write on copy paper. Whatever you have, use that as your arsenal. There is no right or wrong way whenever you're first starting, so it's all gonna be just literally scratch. And as you advance and you progress in the stages of your book, then it becomes to make everything falls in order, everything makes sense, and then you begin doing your chapters. There's many different ways to create an outline of what you want to write about, and we'll talk about that in another video. But like I said, don't give up. Don't give up, because there's many people out there that want to read new things, and we never know. You could be the next J.K. Rowling, you could be the next Stephen King, or you could be the whole newest person that creates a whole entire world out there for people to read. And I believe that the world needs something interesting to read. Are you going to be that person? Are you going to be that person that changes the way what is considered cool nowadays to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to redefine the entire definition of the word cool? Now when you're writing, I will say that if you share it with friends or family, sometimes they may give you some negative feedback, and other times they will be honest with you, as in to say, well, this doesn't sound right, or maybe this sounds right, or hey, this is just plain weird. Don't take that out completely. Believe me, it's happened to me before, and all I can say to y'all is don't take it to the heart. Don't think just because, oh, you know what, that sentence doesn't sound right, take it out. It's weird or whatever. Don't take it to the heart, because it's just a correction, or it just could be a minor change that makes the story sound more interesting. You don't want your readers to read something and make like, you know what, that doesn't make sense, or I didn't understand it, or hey, what is this person trying to tell me? And then if your story goes out of proportion, then you are to blame. So that's why it's sometimes good to give feedback from friends and family, but also if they're criticizing you too much, then I'd say go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. If you request to say who can tell you for sure how your book is, I recommend you post it online, such as websites like Inkit or Wattpad, where there's thousands and thousands of books out there that people have written many wonderful stories. I have read some of those myself, and I have actually commented on those stories. And I would like to give a shout out to those authors who are in my page. So if you want to check me out, I am also on Inkit.com, and check out my other stories I have written. And I'm also going to self-publish those. If you have written a book or are in the process of writing a book, you are doing a tremendously great job. I commend you for it. And the reason I say this is because it takes a lot of hard work for somebody to write a book. You're sitting down, you're spending time, And believe me, this book didn't just happen overnight. This book itself took me almost, what I told you, 20 years to actually to do it or more. But the actual final copy that I decided to do took about 1 year for it to actually get it done. And I'm very excited and happy to be sharing this with y'all because books are a wonderful work of art. If anybody ever tells you you can't write, ignore them. Ignore them. You can write. If you've written something down on a paper that maybe doesn't make sense 100%, you've written something. Can you write a text message? You wrote something. Can you write a sticky note? You wrote something. Consider yourself an automatic writer for doing that. But a main purpose of that is if you've written down an entire book, yes, you can write. You've done it. The last person who told me I can't write word smack, I told them, okay, you know what? Why don't you go write a book then, and then come back and talk to me. Guess what happened? Person left me alone. They never bothered me again after that. And it's true because as a writer, you're dedicating time and an effort to an incomplete piece that will become complete along the way. So it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of imagination, a lot of planning. Whether you're a sci-fi writer, fantasy writer, whether you write poetry, sometimes it comes natural to some people, and other times you just need that boost of confidence. Other times you just have that one moment to where just bam, and there you go, off to writing. Reading other people's material will also help you see how other writers write to help you along the way as well. There are many great writers waiting to be discovered out there. And I know you watching this are one of them. So my advice to you, keep on writing. Keep on writing, don't give up. Give it your best. Always write a page or more a day. And share your work. Don't be afraid. Yeah, you're gonna get critique. Yeah, you may get some negative comments, but don't take it to the heart. Just use that as a leverage, as a push to say, you know what? I'm going to take this constructive feedback, consider it constructive and positive, and say, I'm gonna do it. I can do it. And before you know it, they're gonna be reading your book and they're gonna say, wow, you know what? I love your book. So, from my word to yours, if I can do it, you can do it. So go out there, write a book. Let me know what you read. I would like to hear some feedback. All right? Cheers. Take care.